not getting video. Hey folks, I apologize for any background noise. Today's the day the gardeners are outside and they've got leaf blowers going and lawnmowers going and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, in this video and live stream, I want to talk about headphone connectors and headphone cables. And basically, I think that it's about time the headphone industry band together and come up with some sort of standard for the connectors on the ear cups, because we have so many different connectors. And wouldn't it be nice just to be able to have like one headphone cable, like one really nice headphone cable that you buy or something that you can use on all your headphones? That way you wouldn't have to have so many different headphone cables and so many different connectors. I mean, we've got so many different ones now. We've got 2.5 millimeter, and again, I'm talking about on the ear cups. 2.5 millimeter, 3.5 millimeter. We've got the Odyssey Mini XLR. We've got the Sennheiser HD800 series connector, which is sort of like an XLR, but not really. We have got the Limo connector of the Focal Utopia, but then the Focal Lear uses a 3.5 millimeter connector. We've got the little two-prong connector that the Sennheiser HD600 series uses on the ear cups. We've got so many more even that I can't even think of right now. And even among manufacturers, even among the same manufacturer, they use different cables. Like Sennheiser HD800 uses the little proprietary kind of mini XLR connector. Then the Sennheiser HD700 uses a 2.5 millimeter connector, which is the same as the Hi-Fi Man. Then the Sennheiser HD600 uses a little two-prong connector. It's just totally crazy. As mentioned, on the Focals, the Focal Utopia uses the Limo connector. Then their Lear and the new Clear uses a 3.5 millimeter headphone connector. So anyway, you can get my point. It's kind of crazy. I think it would be so cool if they could just standardize on one ear cup connector, maybe 3.5 millimeter, because that one's pretty robust. Then I could just buy like a really nice cable and then use that on all my headphones, and I wouldn't have to worry about it. On the amp side, on the source side, it's a little bit easier because you can get little adapters. So let's say you have a headphone cable that uses a 3.5 millimeter jack or plug. You can always get an adapter to go to a 1/4 inch very easily. But it's really hard to adapt the cable on the ear cup side. I have seen people do it, like on the forums, but then you have like an adapter hanging off your ear, like an earring. You have like this big long adapter and it gets really unwieldy and just totally not convenient at all. So it's kind of crazy. I'm seeing the comments here. Yo, what's up, Mike? Hi-Fi Insider, Christian Roman, how's it going? I know this live stream was unannounced. I just like to do these. Usually, if you look at my history, usually my live streams are done on Friday mornings. Friday is my day off work, and a lot of times Friday mornings are a convenient time for me to do these. But it would be good if I schedule these in the future. That way more people can join in and stuff. Or maybe if I do them at night, more people can join in the live stream. But sometimes instead of recording a video, I'll just do it as a live stream, and it's just a little bit more interactive and fun that way. So Christian Roman is asking, do you use balance cables on the Focal Utopias? I'm looking to upgrade the stock cables. I didn't try the Utopias with balanced cables myself, so I don't, really have a comment on that. If your amp is a fully balanced differential amp, then it will sound better balanced. If your amp is not balanced, obviously, it doesn't really make sense to go balanced. And for headphones, I think it's kind of a myth that you have to have balance for it to sound better. Yes, if the amp is balanced, you're going to want to go balanced, but good single-ended sounds really, really good. And good single-ended sounds better than fake balanced or not fully differential balanced. So that's something to be aware of. Hi-Fi Insider Mike, he says the Nordos Hemdall 2 does a good job on headphone cables on the amplifier side. They terminate to a 4-pin XLR and include adapters. Yeah, you can adapt on the headphone, on the amplification side, on the source side. I think that is fine because it's usually just a little adapter that kind of just hangs off the front of your source or the front of your amp. But on the ear cup side, it's a pain in the ass to adapt those. I mean, it just doesn't work. And it's just becoming such a pain with all these different connectors on the ear cup side. especially among the same manufacturer. You have different connectors. Like I said, Sennheiser has like 3 different headphone connectors. Focal has 2 different headphone connectors. Other manufacturers have different headphone connectors. I mean, it's just kind of crazy. I think it's really time for the headphone industry to unite on this and come up with some kind of a standardized connector that they're going to use on the ear cups. It would make it a lot more consumer and customer friendly, because right now it's not customer friendly at all. So you know, like, let me show you a cable that I have right now that I like. So right here I've got the Sony MDR Z1Rs. This, I've talked about this in my channel before, but this cable is the Sony Kimber cable that Kimber Kimber supplies the raw cable, and then Sony manufactures it. So this is a kind of a nice connector. Let's see if I can show it to you here on the live video. This is a 3.5 millimeter connector, but it has a screw in, which I kind of like, but you don't have to screw it in, it's kind of optional. You could just leave it unscrewed if you want. So I kind of like this connector, and this just pops out. So this is it here. And I think this connector is kind of pretty robust. I have other headphones like the Audioquest Nighthawks that have a 2.5 millimeter connector. That one seems a little bit more flimsy. The Hi-Fi Mans also use a 2.5 millimeter connector. It works, but it seems a little bit more flimsy than the 3.5 millimeter connector. The other thing is, like, if I want to use this cable with my Audioquest Nighthawks, I can. There's like a little adapter. It's a little kind of like a barrel adapter. And again, I've talked about this in my channel before. But then I have like this little adapter that's hanging off my ear, which is a little inconvenient. So, I don't know, it would just be so much nicer to have things standardized. And I almost don't care what they standardize on the headphone side. I mean, Limo is a really good connector, I've heard. Very robust and, you know, very secure. As long as they keep it standardized and keep everything the same, I mean, it would just be so nice for me to just go out and buy any headphone I want and still be able to use whatever cable I want, you know, without having to worry about the connector. And then I only have to buy like one fancy cable. I could spend my money on a really nice cable that I like, you know, fancy expensive cable that I like, and I don't have to worry about it. No matter what headphones I get, I would be able to use them. So anyway, that's my rant for today. I'm gonna go to the live stream, the comments now. If you have a comment, feel free to leave them. But as the comments taper off, or if I don't get any more comments, then I will stop the live stream. And then for those watching, this video will appear in my channel later, although it takes like half an hour for YouTube to process it and then have it appear in the channel. Okay, yeah, so let's see. Tony asks, how long is the Sony Kimber cable? The one that I just showed, I'm not actually sure how long it is. I want to say maybe like 2 meters or so. Sony makes a couple different ones. They make the same cable in a 3.5 millimeter cable, which I have as well. That one's shorter. That one's for more like portable devices. Then they make one with the Pentacon balance cable as well. Let me get the shorter one. I have it right here. I can just show you. Just had it in my drawer here. By the way, I apologize for the mess behind me as well. Anyway, so yeah, this is the shorter one. This one is, you've got the 3.5 millimeter, like for portables, and then you've got the 3.5 millimeter on the ear cuff side, and it's nice and short. This one's like 1 meter or something like that. So great for using with, you know, like portably when you're taking it around with you and stuff like that. And then just speaking to my point, I also have a Audioquest cable here that I actually purchased from Audioquest. This is the older style. This is, I purchased these for my Nighthawk, but this is the 4-pin balanced. And then you've got the 2.5 millimeter on the ear cups. And this is a cable that I actually had them custom make for me. But yeah, again, if all the headphones were the same on the ear cups, I wouldn't have to have all these different cables. I could just use one cable and call it a day. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm going to end it because there's not many people on the live stream, and I'll see you in my channel. Thanks for subscribing, and if you have anything to add, people watching later, please go ahead and leave it in the comments field. All right, talk to y'all later. See you in my next